position your pom-poms so that the pom-pom is on the inner part of the pillowcase, and this flange part here is going to be in line with the raw edge. And you can pin this or use wonder clips, and once you get to the corner, it will try to, if possible, have one of the pom-poms land on the corner, and when you turn the corner it will curve a little bit, and just try to lay it as flat as possible. And to make it a little bit easier to show you, I will put in a couple pins. Around each of the corners. And something helpful that I find is to take a scissors and to clip a little bit of that trim on the pom-poms, but do not clip all the way through the trim on the pom-poms. And if you do that, then you'll have the frayed edge, and this will just help expand the trim a little bit so we can sew around the corner more easy. So see how nice and flat that will lay after we trim it. And I left about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance of the trim left, so we can continue to pin that corner. And then our pom-pom will pop right on the corner of our pillowcase. Continue pinning all the way around the pillow, and then we'll be ready to baste it down to the front. So at the machine, I have my zipper foot set up so it is attached on the left side. And I want to do that so my needle will be as close to the edge of the pom-pom trim as possible. And that's what's nice about this zipper foot, is it's very narrow and I can get very close to the edge of the trim. I have my needle set on center needle position and a stitch length of 2.5 just to baste it down. And go slowly, and if you need to, hold some of the pom-poms out of the way. And try to keep the edge of the pom-poms in line with that raw edge as you sew. So as you get to the corner, we had cut it so it fits nicely around the corner. And we'll stitch close to the corner. We're doing it about 1/2 of an inch seam allowance. So stop about 1/2 of an inch away from the end. And then make sure your needle is in the down position and lift up the presser foot and pivot around the corner. Then you can lower your presser foot and continue sewing the pom-pom trim around the pillow. Okay, so now we're about where we began, and I'll show you how to do the join and overlap the pom-poms so it looks like it's one continuous line of trim. So you'll see that these two pom-poms are butting up against each other, and we don't want that. We want them equally spaced, so we're going to get rid of all this excess here. And I'm going to just take my scissors and trim off that pom-pom. Now, you'll want to trim it so there's a little bit of overlap so you don't have that raw edge. And you'll continue to sew and kind of curve the edge of the trim so it comes off the raw edge, so it's tucked into the seam allowance. And just keep going, sewing straight across that join. And make sure that you back stitch over the join. So now you know how easy it is to sew on pom-pom trim with a zipper foot. It's not intimidating to go around the corners, and it's really easy to do that join at the end for a professional finish. and you can do this on pillowcases or bags or any other projects that you want to add on pom-pom trim. Thank you so much for watching. Click on any of the videos on screen to watch more of my BL9 adventure.